Well, good afternoon. Happy Friday, August 7th. Mark Milam here, your mortgage professional. So, a little bit of good news this week, and boy, we sure needed it after that month of July. We saw mortgage-backed securities improve slightly. We picked up about an eighth of a point in rate this week across all note rates. A lot of this due to maybe relaxed tensions in the Middle East. I don't want to say that the problem in the Middle East is behind us, but certainly a lot of the live fighting has died down. Maybe more indications out of the administration in DC of willingness to try to reach some kind of an agreement and pause military action. That's always good for the price of oil in that region. The price of oil drags mortgage rates right along with it. So we'll take every bit of that we can get. Also, this week, a bit of a mixed bag with labor numbers. We saw jobless claims come in yesterday, yet again below 200,000. That tells you not a lot of people losing their jobs right now. We're going to need that number to get up close to 300,000 before we really see any meaningful relief on the labor front. But as we move out here into today, this was the non-farm payroll report that came out today. Some really shocking information. But first, let's take a live look at mortgage-backed securities. We can see on the day right now we're up 21. That's good. That's the direction we want. We need the trajectory to go this way, not this way. And we've seen a bit of improvement from Monday of this week all the way to the end of the week. That's the reason why we're about an eighth of a point better. But back to my point about the non-farm payroll report. Here is the release from the Bureau of Labor Statistics this morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Non-farm payroll subtracted 23,000 jobs. We didn't add any jobs over the past 30 days. In fact, we contracted by about 23,000 jobs. That puts our monthly average for job creation in this country over the past 7 months, ever since the start of the year, at about 60,000 jobs per month. That's a pretty low amount. In fact, if we scroll down the screen to the last paragraph here, we can see that May was revised down by 66,000 jobs. And then June was also revised down by another 37,000 jobs. So these prior months, we actually subtracted about 103,000 jobs from the past 60 days of the prior months. And that's telling a tale as well, as we're seeing a weaker and weaker job creation, yet it's not translating into a higher unemployment rate. Interestingly, the unemployment rate actually dropped this month from last month, 4.1 to 4.2%. How in the world could that be possible? Well, yet again, the labor force participation rate is playing a hand in this. So the fewer and fewer people who are actively looking for work or working, the lower the unemployment rate. And so if you zoom in here to the labor force participation rate into the 1 year look back, last month, we were at 61.5%. That means 61.5% of able-bodied, non-institutionalized Americans are working for all of Americans. And this month, we dropped to 61.4%. You can see how low this labor force participation rate actually is. In fact, if you strip out the pandemic, those crazy couple of months in the pandemic where we saw these huge swings, boy, you've got to go all the way back here. What is this? Back to June, May of 1976 to find an equivalent level of labor force participation. And the lower and lower this goes, the better and better unemployment looks. But it doesn't necessarily paint a rosy picture for labor when you have that few people supporting the needs of 100% of the people. And to leave you with one other tidbit, and I'll put the link here on LinkedIn, I'll put the link for you to click into this webpage. But thanks to a good bit of research, we've got a deep dive here on the evolution of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac's risk-based pricing and how it has evolved over time. This is interactive, so you can see all the different ways in which risk-based pricing has evolved over the past decade and a half. You can also see how what buckets are paying for these increases and what buckets have improved for Fannie Mae. And if you get super interested in all of this great detail, you can scroll down the screen and see Fannie Mae's net profitability based upon their volume, Fannie Mae's net worth, and then a deeper dive. Click here to open up a presentation into the deeper dive of all of the different layered costs that have gone into conventional interest rates over the past 14, 15 years. It's definitely worth a review. If you're in the mortgage industry, I highly recommend you take a deep dive into this. If you just have a curiosity about why housing has become so expensive to finance, this is for you. All right. If I can be of any service to you over the weekend, don't hesitate to reach out. Mark.Milam at highlandmtg.com.